Video is about enabling the right, left, and up and down movement inside of Unity games like Rust Legacy by Facepunch for keyboard only. This I'm going to call it key look. If you're not aware of it, when you first start most Unity games, it'll bring up a screen that looks a little bit like this. It'll have the logo for the company, graphics, and input. The input normally doesn't include the turn left-right positive and turn left-right negative functions, or look up, down, positive, and negative. These are deprecated-ish. There will be a rant in this video about Unity and their attitude, but let's go on with it. In the case of Facepunch Studios' Rust Legacy, we go to HKey, current user, software, Facepunch Studios, PlayRust. Then we'll find this list. I'm covering up some of them because they're not really important. The coding for adding this in can be done by looking for something sort of typed like this and putting in some key. I recommend the right and left key on your keyboard, the direction keys only, otherwise known as the cursor keys, or the up and down. You can actually use page up and page down like I did, or you can decide instead of that to make it to where the direction keys are only for tilting your angle up and down for aiming in fine-tune mode. Now, the reason these aren't in is, again, that's a rant. How to fix it is simple. Well, not really simple. You have to go into the registry, and you're either going to have to look it up under software, name of company, name of game, or it'll be under Unity, or it'll be a combination. Don't get me wrong. I know how hard it is to set up entries in the registry, but why isn't this just an INI file with the game at all times? I don't understand the need to do this. I'm using essentially an abandonware version of Rust from 2013, 2014, and 2015, and it insists on using the registry when INI files are in it, and it's practically a portable version. And it used to be, yes, I'm old, all video games used to use an initialization text file inside the directory structure for the game to get rid of this problem. But anyway, here we go. Input key negative horizontal, that means left, right, or up and down, or whatever, or forward and back, is A. So that'd be move forward. It has a string of numbers at the end, and I'm sure that's very critical, so you're going to have to do this after you've installed it and dinked around with the keyboard as best you can and the mouse to get your settings as close as you want them, and it should create these entries. What we're curious about here is the ones labeled positive yaw and negative yaw. That would be the left and right turn capability. Now, for looking up and down, which we've assigned to the page up and page down keys, those are negative pitch, okay, and positive pitch. Now, there'll be alt ones. I've covered up all the others that are for things over here in secondary function. I'm not interested in them. I just want it to have one key anywhere on the keyboard to let me turn right and left and look up and down. It's also assigned, if you're not aware of it, the up and down keys are also reassigned, I haven't shown it on here, for going forward and backwards as well on the keyboard, which is okay. It's not a big deal, but it's, forward and or up and down is assigned for duplicates for the W and S keys, which are defaulted. Now, I want to point out again, it's going to look different on your screen. It might have completely different numbers. It's possible that these numbers indicate the repeat rate, so I'm going to dick around trying to find out how to do that. And I've made a video asking anybody who's made a revamped version of Rust Legacy to just provide us the information on where these settings are and how to enable them and how to control them. I want to have the rate rotation to where when I use the keyboard, it's actually useful for me to rotate left and right or look up and down so I can aim using the keyboard only. For those of you who don't know, I'm going to do the rant in a minute, but I want the people who already know how to put this in to make it to where I don't have to make these videos. And no, don't put it on a goddamn Discord. You have websites, entire servers dedicated with ass tons of bandwidth you're claiming you need money for, which in most cases, really they do need it. Support your local hacker. But you could use literally the diddly squat worth of space it takes to put up a text file that includes how to do this the way I'm showing, or better yet, just enable it in the user interface and stop hiding it. And now I'm going to get to the rant about Unity, game engine, and the people who developed it. These people are individuals who failed at playing Doom. They couldn't compete against people who are keyboard geeks who could assign the keyboard, which is allowed and is not cheating in any way, who beat their ass not touching a mouse during the entire game. because the game did not include the ability originally for you to look up and down. The mouse was not required. Then mouse look was added to every video game, and that became the best way to aim things. So instead of defaulting to hit you, you would have to actually aim properly with a cursor. Now, I want to bring up that in Unity games, a lot of the time, they strongly advise you don't have a crosshair. They strongly advise that you don't ask them that dirty question of, why can't I use my keyboard to turn right and left so I don't have to worry about the mouse throwing me off of a cliff? Because they're a bunch of wimps. Yeah, I said it. When I went to the boards originally, when I was trying to convert over to using Unity Game Engine because it was just better in so many ways, the one thing they wouldn't let you do, and the one thing they just kept refusing to give you answers to, is why on the initialization screen we can't really assign turn left and right as separate functions. It says turn left and right, and you'd assume you do right and then left as secondary. No, that won't work. And up and down, same thing. But when you do this hack, suddenly it says look up, down, positive, negative. Now, it also assigns those look-around functions to a joystick function. If you're not aware of it, joysticks are literally buttons. No, I'm not kidding. They're D-pads. They're the same damn thing. There is an ability in the game for them to assign that to where you can say, instead of the joystick, assign it to keyboard functions. Now, I know that some of the Unity games, in fact, Rust Legacy might do it. You could go in there and just click a different key, and maybe it would assign it correctly. But I doubt it because it's phrased the same way as this was, where it didn't have the positives and negatives originally until I did this registry hack. The way I did it is I went to the look up down and I put in page up, page down, and then I found it created these entries, and it created blank entries for the negative and positive. Yeah. Unity Game Engine developers were biased against keyboard gamers because they kept losing in lobbies. I'm sitting at the card table, out in the park with a sign saying that, and I got my coffee cup saying, prove me wrong. All they have to do to prove me wrong is retroactively tell people, here's how you access it in the registry like I am right now. Go ahead and do it. I dare you. I dare the Unity team to admit that they deliberately deprecated keyboard geeks who were beating their ass without ever touching a damn mouse. I want them to do that. Now, we all love having a mouse. It does absolutely combine a shit ton of functions in it, and it makes it where we can deal with the menus. But originally, we didn't have a mouse, so we had to use keyboards for everything, and I miss keyboard navigation because all I had to do was memorize how many times I hit up, down, left, right, enter, tab, whatever, and I could get access to things a lot faster than you guys can with a mouse. If we had keyboard-enabled functions in Rust to do transfer of stuff, it would be brutally fast, which is what it should be. Oh, I have to sit here and pick up a backpack. Well, that makes sense. There's a 5-second delay. Okay. It doesn't make sense that I'm looking at something and dragging it mechanically using a mouse from one window to another, like we're suddenly running 311 here, that the damn thing will drop it on the ground 40% of the time because I'm trying to hurry, because I'm trying to clear out a raid that I'm doing. That's dumb. By definition, encumbering the player is not a game, a mechanic. It is not. It's spite. You're trying to win in lobbies where you'd lose. Y'all a bunch of wimps. Prove me wrong. Enable us to have complete usage of the game. And hey, here's an idea. Put out a patch for every game you ever put out, because they're all the same game engines. You guys control it. That allow people, if they want to add the patch, which means they negate their warranty, they can have keyboard-only functions if they want, or keyboard and mouse. Don't vindictively take away the mouse just to try to prove a fake point. Anyway, here are the keys. Input key, negative horizontal is assigned to A normally. Input key, negative pitch, I've assigned to page down, but you can have it to be the up and down key if you want, which would make a lot of sense. It would be a true keyboard look. Input key, negative vertical is S. That means the vertical plane we're moving backwards and forwards with A and S. Right? No, we're doing left shit. We're strafing with A and we're going backwards with S. Then we get to input key, negative yaw is left. You notice that the keyboard names themselves say what you're doing here? Anyway, let's move on. Input key, horizontal, positive horizontal, is D for turning right. Then we got positive pitch. Here is page up, and page down again is going to be the negative pitch. Okay, now W is input key, positive vertical. W. And positive world use is E, and then positive yaw again is right. Now, you may have noticed that these don't seem to be very obvious. Instead of saying forward, backward, right turn, strafe left, strafe right, look up, look down, which is the normal thing that people would have, we have these. Now, if you're not aware of it, this is the left-hand or right-hand rule orientation in 3D space that became somehow a verbal standard that makes it critically important that you understand that it's almost designed to make it where you don't know what you're saying. I got what I just read to you backwards a couple of times because this is so counterintuitive. Again, what it used to say when we played Doom: forward, back, turn right, turn left, strafe right, look up, look down, and do the hokey pokey. This was how it was done. It was done in normal human speech and language. And I understand that these are, quote, technically correct, and that's the best kind of correct in the world. But this makes it obscure and hard to understand. And then, again, emphasis added, Unity Game Engine defaults to turning off keyboard navigation that's proper because, again, the developers couldn't win in lobbies because they're all a bunch of little Mac wimps. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. And there's the information if you need it. And yeah, I dare them to publish on every game that's ever been put out for every one of their game engines how to fix this screwed up problem that's pissed people like me off for decades. But hey, they didn't start it. It was somebody else, right? Bye.